I think my standout moment will definitely be creating a platform for a culture that has grown to be unstoppable, where people come have the most expressive um, time of their life. I think this is the only time because Nigerian musicians as our talented creatives. Sometimes they can be pretty stuck up. You just never really get the truth out of them. But I think for me, what stood out for me is the respect for something that I created, where they can come and be honest as possible, and that is the bedrock of a culture that I think has stuck for many years, and that's Superstar Wednesday. I had the most intriguing interviews, like Small Doctor broke down. I know a lot of people didn't even know that he talked about how he used to rob before he found music. Ubi Franklin's interview where he had a big fight with the Yaya, made men, and he brought all the court papers. It was like a law court in the studio. Also, one of it is the one that was kind of crazy with Richard, who wanted his money back. He opened a club and he wanted his money back, and he realized that the business crashed. And he said, you know what, he was going to come and read out the names of everybody that owed him money, or people that kind of crumbled his business. He was in the nightlife business. So many groundbreaking interviews. The ones I had with D02dtun, where he brought the whole family. And I could go back to think about the interviews with likes of Chris, who was one of the biggest jewelers in the world. Lynn Whitfield, China Arnold, who happens to be the mom of Everybody Hates Chris. So many superstars that I've had the chance to speak with. For me, it was like, I love the idea that, and I love what he had done for the culture, where everybody just feels, if I want to be able to be honest, I want to be able to express myself, I want to be able to just come out and speak my truths. I need to go on Superstar Wednesday with D02dtun. And think of anybody you can think about, from the Remmers to Burna. Burna's first Grammy nomination, heading from the airport, go to Nigeria, and the first point of call was Superstar Wednesday. So for me, that is a standpoint on every level. I've interviewed everyone, but the ones that stood out for me was one with King Sunny Ade, knowing the fact that I'm also from Ondo State, and he's a legend. You just don't never see people like that come and talk about their craft. Another person that stood out for me was Pasuma, because people had an idea or had the perception that, maybe Pasuma probably could not speak English. But the first time people heard him was on the show where he talked about his degree in LASU and he studied English. And people didn't even know that. So, and he was so great on the show. I had a lot of them. I had Skepta. Skepta was very daring. He walked in and he was very intimidating, actually. But I loved his power for what he does and how he has held the control. And I had a lot of iconic interviews. Burna Boy, I think Wizkid was many years ago, many years. Wizkid was like 10 years ago when I ever interviewed him. He was supposed to come when he dropped the Made in Lagos, but he didn't make it for the interview. So there are so many iconic interviews. The ones that kind of intrigued me as well, the ones that really shocked me. There was one that never made the cut because there was a fight afterwards, his Black Sheriff. And it wasn't just him, it was actually the team. They were very unassuming, and they clearly were into, there was so much control in the room. He's a real guy. He wanted to be free. But The interview was great. It was an interesting guy, but for every word he wanted to say, it was all controlled. They wanted to, and I think I didn't like that. There was a fight afterwards, actually, but that never got out. That never got out. So I had a lot of intriguing interviews. The ones that were very emotional for me. I remember another one that was very, very emotional is the one for Casey and Harry Song and Skibby. When Skibby, the news that he passed and he came back to life, that was very intriguing as well. That was one intriguing interview because it was filled with emotions, so many emotions. People came out and said that, it was so people believed, some people didn't, and it was when all of them were still together at the time. So many of it, so many. So if I'm gonna pick one interview that really, to be honest, I'm not gonna lie to you, I think the one that really intrigued me was, like I said, I had so many, but my most intriguing interview, or the one that really, I had so many, but I think I'm just gonna stick with one. I think I love the one, the one with Pasuma. Yeah. Radio was seen as a platform meant for people who are not good looking. It was a stereotype. They feel you have great voices, but they're not good looking. Radio also was people that had a voice, but they were faceless. That was the way it was seen, and that in Nigeria, until a couple of guys like the likes of myself, Daddy Freeze, a few other guys like that changed it all for, Tools, Benny, Talking Makinwa, they brought life to it. And thinking about it at the time, if I talk about my journey in Cool FM, I was many times, shout out to my previous bosses who felt like I didn't have the voice, and I was sometimes as a roaster, my names get chucked out every time. I'm ready, and they're like, no, you're not, they chuck it out. Sometimes you think, oh, you're ready for it, and then sometimes a little bit of witch hunts. I had some really funny bosses at the time as well. I don't want to mention their names. But at the end of the day, the lasting thing for me was I was able to prove myself beyond the challenges that I had. Because these were guys who, they were in broadcasting because they wanted to have a type of level of authority. And I felt like for me, it's beyond that. You have to be fluid, you have to be open-minded. And, but that era left, and that era went at the time. But because I broke the odds, I just felt like I kept going. At times, I had a popular song I used to listen to that time, because when I get shut down and say you cannot do it, there's this song they call Free by Lighthouse Family. Ashake actually sampled the song with him. He's also known as Tuni Bayo. He's a phenomenal group at the time. And that song, I'll go into the research department and listen to the music there. I'll cry my eyes out because, I just never get a shot. Because, for you to get a break and be on a microphone and get a show, it's a big deal. So, for a lot of people who said, they'll tell me, oh, you speak in a certain way, blah, 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 whatever. The truth is, like I said, regardless of what anybody says, I mastered the art. I was self-taught, or aside the fact that I majored in mass communication in school, because that's what I wanted to do. I was one of the kids that felt I saw myself as not doing medicine, even if I had an uncle that I love, I respect, who's a gynecologist. My daddy thought I was going to do medicine, but I'm like, imagine me, a doctor in the hospital. People like me are probably going to forget the scissors in people's stomach. So I'm like, nah, it's not going to happen. So, but I was intentional about studying mass communication. I also love the idea of branding, imaging, bringing things to life, starting from scratch and growing a brand and making it, blossom. So I majored in advertising and public relations, but I just knew there was this catch for radio and TV. So shout out to all the haters that said I wasn't going to do it, and shout out to the fact that right now, I'm grateful to think that. I've been able, there was one of them that called me to come and teach at his school. I'm not going to mention his name. I laughed. But the truth is, when people do these things, they forget. They never remember they did all these things to you. But like I said, I don't hold those things to heart. I just move with it, I move on with it. And I think for me, I've been able to make radio look so cool. Absolutely. Wordplay, that's good. honest, I'm not going to say I'm going to miss one thing because I feel they're all in pockets. I'm going to miss a lot of things, especially my colleagues at work. I feel like there's nothing without me without them because they felt the truth is I'm walking in and making sure, oh, what was going on. Even with you guys behind the cameras and the scenes, you create all the contents to make sure that I fly, and you also make sure that everything is all right for me to get there. I've never really said it, or maybe I don't give the right accolades, but I think I'm more of the feel of the guys that are very open-minded with my colleagues. I don't like to be seen as a boss. I think it's a Nigerian thing. I love to be seen as a leader, and that means leading also means that I also have to listen. And I think what I'm gonna miss the most is the kind of things I bite off you guys. You know, you guys have kept me younger. From the music, you're on air, you think you know it all, you don't. So I'm gonna miss that because I feel like there's a lot of education in the room with my colleagues, or everything's packing up somewhere. You know, Kemi Smalls is coming with, oh, you know, even Kemi Smalls taught many of us how to take our pictures properly. So I think the education in the room and the growth, the knowledge I get and I bite off everyone here to make me fly, you know. I think I'm gonna miss that. For the microphone, I feel the microphone is never gonna leave me. I'd love that. You're gonna see me on TV, you're still gonna see me at my parties. You know I love hype, so I'm still gonna get my party up, always. But for radio, there's a special thing about it. I think I'm gonna miss the shows as well, but majorly I'm gonna miss my friendship, how cordial I am with my colleagues, and majorly the education I get from you guys. I'm not saying we could not do it over the phone, but you know, you walking in a room and you have a room filled with people with diverse interests, you know, people with diverse understanding of the culture, of entertainment, and then I just learn from that. I think I'm gonna miss that. The thing is, these days, because there's what they call the culture shock or a culture change, where people think, oh, why do I have to do that for long? To be honest, I don't think you have to do it for long to grow. But also, like I said, for longevity, I'm not saying do it for long, but do it passionately. Because the truth is, that's what's gonna last for you, the test. You're gonna stand the test of time. If I'm gonna pick up the microphone right now the next 10 years, I feel like I'm evergreen. I could boldly say that. But that's because I've learned it, I've understood it, and I think with me, I realized that at the end of the day, passion means you grow in everything that leads you to your goal. You have to be passionate, and you have to love your job. Now, for me, I turn my job to a hobby. Make sure your job is a hobby, because that way you're gonna do it over the money, you're going to do it beyond the money, and you're going to do it beyond what it is. At the end of the day, like I said, I think everybody needs to do whatever they're doing passionately and be yourself. Oh my God. Oh. Oh. You guys, you always want to get me your family. Goodness. Ainana, that's my guy. Oh, this is crazy. Oh, this one I almost went mad. Oh my God. Look at the look at my face. You shouldn't look at you, to be honest. I'm like, ah. The moment the guy said that, I'm like, brah, you missed the wrong guy. I was shocked, to be honest. I'm like, I've done a lot of stupid things. That's my best friend, actually. The fuck edited this thing? It looks so new to me. I've seen it before. When I get this looks so new to me. I shouldn't sing. I'm pretty bad at it, but I have some really favorite songs that I love to play. Oh my God! I swear. Oh man, this is good. I'm not gonna lie. I have no idea I worked this much, man. And I'm like, okay, so this is way longer than this. It's crazy, but I'm happy for my journey. I'm not gonna lie. I think I'm even more overwhelmed now to see how far I've come. 20 years is a lot, but it's worth it. So this is my life. This is my journey. This is my time on the radio. Catch me. A lot of things coming out. You know me. When I come through. So, but this is the best time, one of the best times of my life. My journey here at on the radio at Cool FM, to everybody that has embodied the image of the brand of radio as a whole. I just want to thank everybody. I love you guys so much, and special shout out to Auntie B. To be honest, that was the first person that was the nicest person to me, and I love her very much. She's like my office mommy, and to date. There's much I can say. I want to thank the whole team, the D02 team. Michael, I've been hard on you sometimes, but hey, this is the best time to say it. Like, you're a great guy with the whole team. I love you guys.